How to start a fashion business. The first step is creating a fashion business plan. In today's video, we are going to learn how to create your fashion business plan in 20 minutes. You must be wondering why 20 minutes? Typical fashion business plan takes days and weeks to create. But here's the thing, perfect business plan is a myth. Studies have shown that what separates successful fashion brands from unsuccessful ones is not the perfect business plan, but the ability to turn profitability before running out of resources. The way to start a successful fashion business is not to spend weeks creating your perfect business plan, but going out and talking to your customers and modifying your business plan to adapt to the customer's needs. So time is a critical resource when you're starting a clothing line, and you should not fall into the analysis paralysis path. At this point, our goal is to create a snapshot of your initial thinking with respect to your customers, product, unique value proposition, revenue stream, and so on, so you can establish a baseline as you create your clothing line and then modify and update based on customer feedback. So in this video, we are going to use a simple tool called Lean Canvas to create our fashion business model plan in 20 minutes so we can get started and then get on with our business. Welcome. So the tool we are going to use to create our fashion business plan in less than 20 minutes is called Lean Canvas. And in order to get to that, we will go to a website called leanstack.com. So one of the tools that LeanStack has is called Lean Canvas. So as you scroll down, you will see under resources, you see Lean Canvas. You click on that and you sign in. So they have a paid version as well, but I think free version works just as fine, so you don't need to worry about getting the paid one. So once you sign in, you can click here to create a new project. I've already created one, so I'm just going to click here and open it up. And let's say I want to create a new Lean Canvas, and I am going to call it Fashion Business Canvas. Let's click on Save. And this is how your fashion business model is going to look like. It's a one-page model. So you don't have to worry about spending hours and weeks and days into it, because the goal here is to create a snapshot of your fashion business plan and not to spend a lot of time doing it. So as you can see, it has 9 quadrants, and we are going to fill out each quadrant one by one so we can have a better understanding of where we stand today and where our business is. So as the time progresses, we can modify and change it. So for this particular Lean Canvas, we're going to consider a company. So one of my friends has a company and they make customizable shoes for children. So we are going to use that business as an example, because then it will be a lot easier for you to follow along and you can see how it fits your particular business. So first section we are going to hit is called customer segments. So this is very important to understand the difference between customers and users. A customer is the one who pays you and a user does not. This would be a simple distinction between a customer and a user. So for his example, he wanted to target parents, and even among parents, I think the main decision maker for them will be women, moms who are actually buying the product for the kids. So we are going to distinguish between customers and users. So customer would be moms, and then user would be the kids. So the kids can be, boys or girls. So this way, and by the way, you can add and change whatever you want, but just by clicking on it. And this helps you distinguish that the moms are the one who are actually much more likely to be the customer than the father. And the users could be boys or girls, since the shoes are applicable for both gender. So now another segment of customer is we need to define who are your early adopters. We all want a product that would be used by everyone, but we want to define our early adopter because we can focus our marketing strategy towards that niche segment. Ralph Lauren, designs everything under the sun at the moment, but they started out by designing just one tie for men. So it's very critical to find out who your early adopters are so you can focus on them. So let's say for our particular case, we are going to look at moms with daughters who are less than, let's say, 10 years old. And the reason we picked this segment as our early adopters because it's a pretty niche segment. So I know these are the moms who actually have kids, especially daughters who are less than 10 years old and who are much more likely to use the product than the older kids. So defining our main umbrella as a customer segment and then defining a niche market under the customer segment as my early adopters helped me focus to which target audience I want to market to first. So after customer segment is defined, next you want to define the problem. So here you should identify at least top 1 to 3 problems your product would solve for your early adopters. A typical technique that I use to recover a problem is called 5 whys analysis, which means like you start with a customer problem or their surface symptom and then ask why that problem exists. And you do it 5 times and it helps you to get to the core of the problem that the customer is facing. So at this particular shoe company, we can say that the parents want kids to do certain activities together, and kids want a product, they want to personalize things, so they want something that reflects their personality, their interest, their style. So the main problem, let's say from parents' perspective, we want to solve is parents can or would like to do activity to spend more time with their kids, because one of the shoes they also offer is size for moms as well. And since it's customizable shoes, the mom and daughter can have a similar type of shoe, similar style, and they will look cute together. So that's one of the problems that they're trying to solve. So for kids, we can have, they want products they can personalize and it reflects their personality, style, interest. Right? So you can find whatever your particular product is and what are those top 3 problems that you can solve, and you can list all these 3 problems here, because these problems will eventually lead to the solution and in section number 4. So here you want to look at what is the current situation of your customer, which means which fashion brands are they using, what are your competitors are, things like that. And even when they're not using this product at all, they don't have any alternative, that's still an option. Like doing nothing is also an alternative. So this information would be very beneficial when you want to properly position and value your fashion line. So for this one, you can look at, let's say, company A that also make customizable products, and the activity A the consumer actually does to do it. So this can vary from your particular role and from your particular product, but you should definitely look at which your existing alternatives are, because that will help you define what solution would it be and how you would create a cost structure around it. So in this section, we are going to look at 3 blocks together, so which is solution, unique value proposition, and revenue streams, because these 3 structures would help us determine what the minimum value product should be. So an MVP is the smallest solution that delivers customer value and solves customer problem. So this, you can look at the problems that you identified in previous steps. What would be the solution at this point? So here, for this particular example where we were making customizable shoes, the solution would be that the shoe is provided as an empty canvas, and kids or moms can actually put different embellishments on it. So it would be like different buttons, flowers, whatnot. So one of the solutions can be, let's say, existing blank canvas shoe that kids can put embellishments on it. If I can spell embellishments correctly. Okay, embellishments on it. It's easy to use, and there's like variety of embellishments. That can be customized. Okay, I can't spell embellishments, but anyway. So this one here you can see, so these are the existing shoe as a blank canvas. It's easy to use. Even for embellishments, you have multiple varieties that kids can use and identify it. So the next block we're going to cover is the unique value proposition. So this is a single, clear, compelling message that turns an unaware visitor into an interested prospect. So when you're starting a clothing business, your initial battle is to get noticed by the potential customer. And here you can define why parents would want to pick your product, why kids would want to pick your product. And if there's an activity they can do together, that also becomes part of your value proposition. So let's say for this, for example, we can look from parents' perspective. So let's say since moms we picked at as our early adopters, we can use that. So moms can spend more quality time with their kids by doing an activity together. And for the kids, especially daughters, let's you want to say, so they can customize their shoes to reflect their particular style. So you customize their shoes to reflect their style. And they can also do like an activity together that gives you a unique value proposition. And the next step from unique value proposition is the high level concept. So this is something that's done in multiple startups, is called like elevator pitch, for example. That is something that you can give reference to a particular product and person just understands what exactly it is. So biggest example I can use here is like Le Tote. So Le Tote's high value pitch would be unlimited apparel and accessory rentals each month. Or Birchbox, which is a monthly makeup rental service, their high level concept would be sample personalized beauty products delivered right to your door. For this particular example, what they can do is, if I have to tell somebody what this company does in less than 5 words, I can say these are customizable shoes for kids. So when I give this high level concept pitch to somebody, they actually understand what it is. So figure out what your product is and what would be your high level concept pitch for your particular product. So the next section we're going to move into is the revenue streams. So price determines your customers. You know, Gucci and Prada's prices are different than the price of Gap and Anthropologie store. Their price points determine which customer segments they target. So when you're starting out your fashion company, your price will help you determine which customer you need to target to and how much money you can spend acquiring them. But one thing you should also keep in mind is I see a lot of people doing cost-based pricing versus value-based pricing. Especially in fashion, pricing of your product on a perceived value is much better way of pricing than pricing your product based on cost structure. You know. And also keep in mind and check which are the alternatives available to the existing customer and what their price points are, so you can position yourself accordingly. So for this particular model, they looked at their competitors, they looked at what value it provided, how much parents wanted to do the activity with their kids, how much were they spending for shoes. So their MSRP lands at about $50, for example. And their revenue stream, so I don't know what their profit margins are, so I'm just going to say it. So let's say their gross profit is $20, for example, for each shoe sale. So now this gives you an idea that your revenue stream is going to look like about $50 per sale, and you're making $20 per sale as a net profit from this particular endeavor. So the next section we are going to look at is channels. So channels is a path to your customers. So channels is something you need to start thinking about or building from day one. But the good news is you don't have to build all your channels from day one, but you can start with a handful of channels and build on them. So these will be the ways how are you going to acquire your customers. So it could be selling through boutiques, online sales, trade shows, converting blog readers to customers, social media advertising, and multiple ways. And one thing you should also look into is differentiate between the scalable and unscalable channels. So unscalable channels would be something that's very rigid. You have to put in an effort into it in order to grow them. But the scalable channels will be something that can automatically scale. So that can be referrals, content marketing, the sales force that you have, and so on. So for this particular case, we are going to define what will be like the top 5 channels that would help them grow. So one of the things we can look into, so first they're going to start with friends and family. So that's one channel they can reach out to. Second one is, let's say, local schools. So you can partner with local schools and give some money to the charity if you like. Next one could be local boutiques. Another one would be, I would say, trade shows. And since we're targeting kids less than 10 years old, so you can even partner with childcare centers, and that can help you at least get you started. So you can add as many as you want. So these are just the basic ones that I will start with, but you can eventually move on to, because these ones don't cost you any money. So this is something that's unscalable, but you have to put in a lot of sweat equity into it. So if you wanted to go more into the scalable one, but the scalable one will cost you money, example, doing content marketing or doing Facebook advertising or Google advertising, those things are much easier to scale, but then you need money to spend into it. So this would be something that you can start with. And once you have proof of concept, you have initial customers, and you have some money to spend on marketing, then you can go into the scalable channels, which will be like Facebook ads and so on and so forth. So the next section we are going to look at is key metrics. So these are the key set of numbers that tell you how your fashion business is doing at a particular moment of time. So key metrics will change as you add more products to your line or as your business grows. But even from the beginning, I like to have two set of key metrics. One is defined by the activity that I can see that, okay, if my users are doing this particular activity around my product, I know it's a positive feedback, even though they might not be spending money. And the second key metrics would be revenue focused, that these many people are coming to my particular site. So let's say if we define one key metrics could be activity based. So that key metrics for this particular example would be, let's say, kids playing with the shoes and positive feedback from parents. So this is an activity-based key metric. So as long as I'm getting positive feedback, I know I'm moving in the right direction. Second one would be like a revenue-based metrics. So which could be, let's say, I want to make at least 10K sales per month, and month after month I want to see at least 50% growth, month over month. So this will be my revenue-based key metrics. So to revamp again, this is very important, so because this will help you determine if you're moving in the right direction. So do one key metrics that is activity-based, that tells you if people are actually liking your product. And the second key metrics would be like a revenue-based, which shows you that, okay, this is how much money I need to make, and this is how much growth I need to have from month over month, so I know I'm moving in the right direction. So the next section for your fashion business would be cost structure. So this will determine how your revenue stream is going to look like, how your profit is going to be. And in this section, you list your fixed and variable costs. So fixed costs will be something that you pay either one-time cost to start the business, or that is consistent and you pay the same amount month over month. Variable costs would be, it will depending how your business is doing. If your business is doing great, your cost would change. If your business is not doing so good, your cost is less. So it'll help you determine what it would be. So fixed cost for here, example would be, let's say if I do fixed cost. So fixed cost for me would be, if I'm using Shopify store, so that would be like a Shopify store cost. So which is fixed at the moment, but I still have to pay month over month. And if I get more users, then it can change and I jump to a better hosting platform. So that could be one of them. Variable cost. So this cost be, if I'm doing affiliate marketing, it could be like commission that I am paying to my salespeople. See, commissions I'm paying to salespeople, or it could be the cost of my initial inventory, etc. So you know your business better, so you can see which are the costs that's going to change and which are the costs that are going to be same. So this will help you determine how much money do you need to have in your bank all the time in order to survive month after month after month. And another, if you have any employees, that employee costs, their salary, their medical benefits, insurance, all this stuff will become part of your fixed cost. And last but not the least is unfair advantage. So unfair advantage is something that cannot be easily copied or bought. So this section you will list how will you defend against your competition. So sometimes I've talked to like a lot of fashion designers, and they say that their unfair advantage is because they have a brand new product. And to be honest, brand new product is not really an unfair advantage, because if you have something that's very brand new, very unique, you will have to spend a lot of time and money on advertisement to make the customer aware of your particular product. So that might end up costing you more money than actually will make you more money. So think of examples as like Google and Facebook. So these guys were not first to market, but they were fast followers. I think Facebook was like 10th or 11th social network. Google was 7th or 8th search engine, but they adapted and they did a job much better than who were the market leaders at the point. So your unfair advantage is something that cannot easily be copied or bought. And another thing that's not an unfair advantage is having more colors or special fabric or more sizes. So these are not unfair advantages. But then what is an unfair advantage? So unfair advantage for your fashion company could be your personal authority. Maybe you are a great blogger and you have a loyal audience. You have a dream team. You have existing set of customers that are very unique and very difficult to get to. Or you have the right celebrity endorsements. You have a huge community and you have great core values. So this is where for this particular product, we were going to look into, or you have special access to international boutiques that is not available for everyone else. So write down what your unfair advantage is here. So let's say we will do celebrity endorsements, like access to international boutiques, blog following, and great board of advisors that can connect you to bigger brands and bigger places where you can sell your product a lot more. So as you can see, this is your quick snapshot of your fashion business model or fashion business plan, as you want to call it. And these sections gives you what your current thought should be at this particular moment of time. And now you have a starting point. So rather than spending days and weeks and months into creating a perfect business plan, this one-page sheet will tell you exactly where you are, what your thinking process is, how you're going to target your customers, what your cost structure is, how you're going to make money, and so on. So I would use this as a starting point, and then every 2 weeks or every month when I get more data and visit more customers, you can come back and keep revising this until you get to a point where then this becomes a second nature and works perfectly for you. So I hope this is helpful to you, and this is Vishal Kalia from rogueline.co. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have any particular questions regarding creating your fashion business model or starting a clothing line, please leave them as part of the comment and I would be more than happy to answer. So thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful day.